Like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton sports fans, stay informed
with Sports 1440. Stream us.
Listen to us on the AM dial.
However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening. Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
call Legacy, call Legacy.
If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See, my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It'll be fine by dusk, but I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your head between my collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no weight at all.
Today's show, Oilers storm Chicago for 2 periods, and then Connor Ingram is brilliant in a wobbly third. NFL, Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin may have just passed the last chance Texaco, and in baseball, a legend gets traded about 10 years too late to help. The Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick, family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. As you know, we are on YouTube. We're at Sports 1440 as well, AM on the dial. Sports1440.ca online, iHeartRadio and Radio Player Canada. They serve as podcasts on Spotify and Apple. We tweet it out on X as well. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, Jay Fenwick04, and Donovan Paulson. We have a guest today, Alex Doherty from the Tennessean. Declinations comes your way at 1:40. We will have rumors as well. And, of course, so much going on with the Edmonton Oilers, including some transactions today that you'll want to know about. And we'll talk about the Arenado trade in baseball and Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and the NFL playoff picture for the weekend. First, the introductions. He would like to bring bartending events to the Olympics, including the Ramos Gin Fizz, which requires 15 minutes of vigorous shaking process in order to get a towering foam. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick.
Yeah, if you ask me to shake anything for longer than 30 seconds, I'm out. Not happening.
I think somebody orders one of those, you just say, you're getting some beer.
They order one of those, I'd be like, sorry, man, we're out of egg white. They'd be like, oh, I brought my own. I'd be like, sorry, man, can't do it.
So who brings their own egg white to a bar? All right. He would like to bring baseball to the Olympics, and it's coming in 2028. He'd like more beanballs, high spikes at second base, and mascots tackling the third base coach, and would like the baseball announcers to be aggressively critical of the pitchers all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like he's doing play-by-play at the Olympics. It's Donovan Paulson. Donovan Paulson, everybody.
That was a good one. I like that one. There's a lot of things that reign true.
What if you could change one thing about baseball today? What would it be?
For the mass audience, I would make the charging of the mound less voodoo. Less
punished.
Less punished. Yes.
Right. Okay. I felt as though you would be like an aggressor. All I want is no lockout in 2027.
Yes, that would be my real answer. But the charging of the mound would make baseball more entertaining for the
Especially if it's Robin Ventura against Nolan Ryan. All right. He would like Jimmy Butler in the Olympics, and he did play basketball for the USA in 2016. They won gold, surprisingly. Not really. This man would also like the CFL football game to be played at the Olympics. It's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
I was going to say, Jimmy does have a gold.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that. So that's awesome, because I thought that was going to be a little underhand dig. You know what I was thinking this whole time during the intros? I thought it would have been so funny if you did Josh and Donovan and then just skip me and like went into the show.
I would never do that.
No, I know you wouldn't. You're way too nice of a guy. But I thought, and even if you did it, you would do it as part of a bit. But I was sitting here thinking how hilarious that would be if you just went into the show.
Yeah, well,
I'm glad you didn't. You know, I like the shout out, of course. And I love Jimmy Butler, but
I try not to be, if I do have humor, and I think I have a little bit of sense of humor, I try not to be cruel about it, unless it's Declan or Donovan, whatever his name is, that guy. All right, there's so much to talk about. We have to get to it. Alex Doherty will join us from the Tennessean, talk about Nashville Predators in the second hour. We've got declinations as well. Hi, my name is, and we've got rumors just around the corner. But the Oilers win versus Chicago. I thought Connor Ingram played very well. There are transactions today that suggest that the Edmonton Oilers, I don't know if they're moving on, but they might have three goaltenders as part of the regular rotation based on what we're seeing today. They've made some moves. Adam Henrique has gone to LTIR, okay? So that gives them room to activate Tristan Jarry and Jake Wallman. And I know it sounds like a bit of a mess, but I think they can run 13, 3, and 7 now and have everybody there. Jarry's been activated, Wallman activated, Henrique on LTIR, Connor Ingram moved from emergency recall to regular, and they also yesterday signed, although it doesn't affect the roster, they signed Quinn Hudson. That's a lot of moves in a very short space of time. Do you think there'll be another shoe to drop after the Olympics in Pickard, or are they going to run 3 goalies?
I think that they're not going to run 3 goalies for the rest of the season.
Okay.
I think they're going to probably let this play out a little bit longer. Why not? Right? You look around the league. Some teams are struggling with goaltending health. Some teams are struggling with poor play from goaltending. So if you're the Oilers, you want to keep this depth for as long as you possibly can. And why not ease Tristan Jarry back in after a groin injury? I think that's probably the smart thing to do. But post-Olympics, I would expect Cal Pickard to be on waivers.
The third line looked pretty good last night. Mangiapane still not moving the needle enough for me, but I thought the fourth line was okay. They had some chances. Frederick coming along. Lazar looks okay in there, and Janmark is, penalty killer guy, and I think he's there to be the least popular European player on the team for fans. But I feel like there's a pulse on the third and fourth line, maybe not outscoring right now, but the first 2 periods, all the lines seem to be going pretty well.
You know what? I thought for the first half of that game, that was maybe the Oilers' best effort of the season.
It was good.
They were fantastic for the first half of that game. I thought to a man, outside of Andrew Mangiapane, I thought everybody was excellent. I thought, listen, like Curtis Lazar could have had 2 goals. Trent Frederick could have had 2 goals. Jack Roslovic could have scored about 10. Like he had what felt like a million high danger chances to score. They were all over it for the first half of that game. And then like for that first half, it looked like me or any of us in this room could have played goal and the Oilers still would have won. But then obviously things kind of change as you get into that third period. And then Connor Ingram comes up huge in the third period a couple of times to save their bacon. But that was a weird game in the sense that they were in total control. They just couldn't buy a goal for certain stretches in that game. Maybe that's a little bit of a lack of finish on a couple of guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe that's just, the ebbs and flows of a season, but they were really impressive for the first half.
Yeah, they were. And they can't get a shout out for a goalie no matter what. The play, it was a discombobulation, but you've got to attack the shooter. He's in the high slot, but that's still a really, really dangerous area. Somebody had to get out in front of that and maybe put themselves between the goaltender and the puck. Also in the NFL last night, I suspect it might be the end for Mike Tomlin. And
it officially is, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Literally 2 minutes ago.
They fired him.
He has stepped down.
Okay. All right. And then Aaron Rodgers will find out. Declan, your thoughts on both Tomlin stepping down and Rodgers stepping out, maybe?
It's so funny because the Pittsburgh Steelers do not fire people. Like that is kind of their MO of MOs, that they don't fire anybody. So I love that they went to Mike Tomlin and said, hey, man, listen, can you just step down so we don't have to fire you and we can keep this up as our MO? And listen, Mike Tomlin knew, I actually think Mike Tomlin is kind of a victim of his own success because what he was able to do with like Kenny Pickett as a starter, then Aaron Rodgers in his old age, and the tail end of Big Ben, and keep them teams with winning records and even getting into the playoffs for as long as he did was incredibly impressive. But they were stuck in the absolute quicksand of quicksands in the NFL landscape. They were never good enough to truly compete. They were just good enough to scrape into the playoffs, and they were never bad enough to rebuild. And now, and not just now, because like I said, it's been this way for years now, they sit in such a state of just absolute, like they are on Highway 31 in Wyoming right now, the middle of nowhere.
It's a lovely scenery.
It's great scenery. It's great scenery, but at some point you want to get somewhere. You want to get to a hotel and have a bubble bath and a continental breakfast, and they were never doing that. As far as the actual question goes, it's the right move. I'm happy to see Mike Tomlin gone. I know I have a friend who's a very big Steelers fan. He wanted him gone. I think Steelers fans have kind of echoed that sentiment. As good as he was, it's time.
Just so we're aware, Chuck Noll took over in 69, coached 342 games to 91. Taken over was Bill Cowher, 1992 to 2006, 240 games coached. And now Tomlin, 309 from 207 to present. So, like, if I'm a football guy, I want that job because it's a lifetime basically opportunity. The first blush, either of you football fellows, or all three of you, first blush on who you might look at, who might be available, and who Pittsburgh, who's the Rooneys are old time money, football money, who they might look at.
Well, just really quickly before Donovan and Josh answer, I'll let them go first. How funny would it be if they have had 3 coaches since 1969? And now all of a sudden it's so bad they have to fire a coach every 2 years.
Well,
could you even imagine?
It would be Cleveland is what it would be. All right. Any ideas?
How funny would it be if they hired Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, go to their division rivals, one of the best rivalries.
And he's a hell of a coach, right?
Hell of a coach.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun one.
He also kind of fits the mold of what Pittsburgh is. Like, they're both pretty hard-nosed, button up your bootstraps kind of guys.
That would, unironically, that would be a good choice for them.
I agree. I just don't think it'll happen.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen. I think it'd be funny, and I think it'd be a good choice, but I don't know the odds on that. There's a lot of good coaches out there, I think.
Yeah. And by the way, I was not around when Chuck Noll became coach, you asshats for thinking it. But I do wonder...
you were alive.
Sure I was, but I don't remember Cowher or Tomlin being like the obvious choices. They do seem to have a style they like. And so I wonder how long it'll take, number one. The Chiefs haven't even started interviewing people, by the way, and they've been out for a week, so it could take a while. But there are some interesting candidates out there now. Anybody appeal to you among the pool that has been recently made available?
Mike McDaniel doesn't strike me as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Could you even imagine?
That would never happen. Kevin Stefanski would fit their mold, I think. That would be their guy in my mind. Good defensive coach, does a lot of things well. Would they go that direction again? Remains to be seen, but that would be the guy I think that fits the best in my mind.
Okay. And it's like, would it be considered one of the really cherry jobs because of the tradition and the success they've had?
You'd think so, but based on a roster perspective, like if you're trying to go in and win right away,
maybe not.
And it's also it's a lot to live up to. 3 coaches since 1969. It's boy, I got to live up to those 3 before me. Those are big shoes to fill.
It's pretty easy to get back there, though. All you have to do is have a draft like 1974 for the Steelers. Do you know about the 1974 draft, boys? Lynn Swann, Jack Lambert, John Stallworth, Mike Webster, Donnie Shell.
You mean hitting on every single pick?
That's 2 great wide receivers. Lambert was an insane linebacker. Webster was a center, and Donnie Shell was a safety. And it just was just over in a heartbeat. I tell this story because it's so funny. Stallworth went to a very small college. They have one tape, like one long, big videotape of Stallworth. And the NFL said, we only got one, so we'll send it to Pittsburgh, and then they have to send it along to whomever else. Pittsburgh never sent the tape to anybody. The other teams allowed, see the tape. They didn't because they knew they wanted Stallworth and they drafted him. That is the kind of edge you want if you're an NFL team. Very good. Last night's game, anything else out of that aside from what we're talking about here? Do you feel even more strongly about the defense that Pittsburgh felt, or about the weekend and how well the Texans will do?
Yeah, I mean, I do. Like that's how they've played all season, and now they're playing
outside of
against
the first 3 games.
Yeah, but like right off first 3 weeks of the year,
it was weird because the game was close score wise, but the yards were totally skewed. And then the Texans just blew it open late, and that was kind of more indicative of what the game was. But it was also kind of a game the Steelers kept close. It was a weird one, but I definitely like the Texans' prospects against the Pats.
Yeah, Stroud just needs to. I mean, do I think he's going to have 5 fumbles in a game again? No, I don't.
Your mic's buzzing again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I know that took you off your thought process, but it is. There's better.
You want me to shut this off, big dog?
No, I like what Josh says.
No, I didn't. I'm going to turn his mic off for the show. I meant like right now, this second, so we can fix it.
Oh, okay.
Is it better? Like because I can never hear it on my end.
It's
in and out.
It's in and out. It's not ideal.
Yeah. I think when he talks, that's the problem. All right. The Arenado trade. This is a great trade if it's 2014.
Even if this was 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been a great trade. But at this present moment, the best way I can describe Nolan Arenado is he's basically Andres Jimenez, but old.
Great defense, no bat.
Great defense. The bat is still somehow better than Andres Jimenez, which tells you how bad the bat of Andres Jimenez is. But objectively, like if you're looking for a pure defensive upgrade, great upgrade. And you're also not paying him that much for the D-backs. But yeah, this if this was 5-10 years ago, this would be the headline of all headlines. But for right now, realistically, all you're doing is you're blocking Jordan Lawler.
Yeah, and you're right. We're right about that. I don't take the Lord's name in vain, and I don't pray for things that don't matter. But if I were that person, I would pray to the radio gods today to make this day the afternoon that Tucker goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers, because you're here and you'd be outraged, and it would make the show, right? And it could happen. I still think. I feel like the Mets are going to get Tucker. That's what I believe. That's what I read, and that's what I believe. It makes more sense than that. I mean, the Jays would make sense. I agree with that, but I don't see the Dodgers making sense. The Dodgers are older now. I know everybody thinks they're going to win for the next 10 years, but I think signing Tucker, they got young players. You got to start playing some of these cats, right?
Here is my counterpoint to the Mets and Tucker is, does Kyle Tucker seem like a New York kind of guy?
Well, no, he's quiet, right?
That's not a New York guy to me. That's a guy who goes to Toronto's a big market, but Toronto's more of a low-key type of market. Even same thing with LA. The fan base is maybe a little bit more pressure-packed in LA. They have higher expectations, I guess you'd say, which maybe that's a little bit off based on the Jays trying to win the World Series again. But
right.
Like, yeah, eventually the Dodgers do have to play some of their younger guys because they remember Michael Busch gets traded to the Cubs, immediately becomes one of the top 10 first basemen in baseball, in my opinion. Like, you can't trade away every young player you have. You got to keep some cheap guys.
Right.
And for the Dodgers, I think they're only really in the mix if this thing gets back to
Declan's getting mad again.
Their price range, which is they want to jump in and do what they've kind of always done, which they did with Snell, they did with Freeman. These are guys where if the market falls enough in their favor, they're going to jump all over it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't fall into where they want it to be, they'll just be okay with passing.
Bichette apparently and the
Phillies.
Phillies had a good meeting. I can see him there. They'd have to probably get rid of Alec Boehm or Bryson Stott, but who cares?
Alec Boehm's not that good. They've been trying to get rid of Alec Boehm for the last 2 years.
Is he like a replacement level guy? Is that how you would describe him, or a little better than that? Or?
He's basically a replacement level guy. He is just average in every sense of the word. He's a bad defender at third base.
Right.
With a slightly above league average.
So Alec Boehm is the equivalent of this show. Average in every way.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Rumors on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Twang Tuesday. Declan has figured out Twang Tuesday. He's got like 6 songs and he just rotates them. It's brilliant. I love all of them.
I'm not the biggest country guy in the world. I'm happy to take requests.
By the way, do you know who is a big country music fan?
Josh. You're looking right at him. So.
No, your NBA fellow.
Paul Sir?
No, your NBA player fellow.
Oh, Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy is a big
He
country
loves
fan.
Luke Bryan, and so does he. So does Josh.
Jimmy does love Luke Bryan. That's real.
And Josh loves him too. Yep. All right. It's time for, he's denying it, but that's not, he's feeling uncomfortable because he thinks that Donovan is hip, but Donovan isn't. So it's okay. Time for rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. And by the way, I really love the music he's choosing. Well done. All right, the Edmonton Oilers made some moves, and trust me, they can do all of this. Adam Henrique goes to LTIR. They activate Wallman and Jari, and they have, according to Hart at Puckpedia, $271K in space remaining with 23 active. That's 13 forwards, 7D, and 3 goalies. Now, everybody who is in media will tell you over the next 24 to 48 hours, having 3 goalies is, you can't do that, but it's for a short period. You know, you're basically coming up to the Olympic break, and then after that, you can decide, and then there's the deadline. I like the move because I do think there's a chance Jari gets hurt, or Pickard gets hurt, or Ingram has an issue, and now you have 3 of them, and you've got a little bit in a very difficult area. You've got a little bit of you've got another opportunity if something happens. And you can say, well, nobody will claim Pickard, but Carolina does this on the double. They claim goalies just for fun. So I think it's a good move by the Oilers. What do you think, Donovan?
Yeah, I think it's an astute move. I think it's the right move. You don't want to lose the position of depth right now that you have based on, like, look around the league. There are injuries. There are teams with goaltenders that are really struggling. And if you're the Oilers, I know Cal Pickard's been largely awful all season.
He hasn't been good.
But you want to keep him around because he is a guy that this locker room loves. He is one of the few jokers left on this team, and you want to keep morale high. So why not keep Cal Pickard around until you maybe get the best chance to send him down to where he's not going to get claimed.
Are we hearing buzz still?
Yeah.
Guys, we got to learn to live with it. What do you like?
The Flames have placed Blake Coleman on the injured reserve. He's day-to-day. He won't be gone for long. And the Flames also assigned Martin Pospisil to the AHL on conditioning loan. Can you imagine if they had conditioning loans in radio?
Well,
that'd clean out a lot of the staff.
That might clean out this entire show.
Avalanche have reassigned Ivan. That hurts because that's the best name in hockey right now. Chandler Stevenson has been activated by the Kraken, and Quinn Hughes wanted to go to the Red Wings. You know, I'm growing tired of the Hughes story. It seems like, lots of the Sutter brothers, they tried to hand them together, and that didn't work in all cases. But they went all over hell's half acre in the NHL. Nobody said boo. Why do the Hughes have to play it together? Can't you just play for different teams? Is that controversial to say? Or wait till everybody have a same free agent year and then sign with one team? It's gone now.
I turned it off. Heard Josh's request, but I'm going to turn it back on.
The voices in my head are gone, so it's the buzz. So it's all good. Eric Carlson on IR, and that's too bad because he's been playing well, and he's had such an up and down career. Now that's a guy who had a high ankle sprain that hung around for a long, long time. We mentioned earlier the Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired. Would you say Hall of Very Good Nolan Arenado?
Ooh, Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
100% Hall of Famer Nolan Arenado.
All right. He's had a wonderful career, no doubt about that. Sometimes as a player ages, the bloom comes off the rose a little bit, but he's done enough for you.
Well, yeah, you look at even like he's fallen apart in the last 2 years, and he is, what is he now? How old? But it's really just the last 2 years. Like you look at the career WAR for Arenado, and we kind of like look at the magic number as usually around 50. Like he's a 58 WAR player in his career. He's hit 353 homers. Like he is, 8-time All-Star. He basically won 1 million Gold Gloves in a row. I'd have to count this, but I think it's 10 in a row.
Wow, that's good.
That is a surefire Hall of Famer. Like up until 33, it's when it's kind of started to tail off. But even at 33, he was still an above league average bat.
We have Buzzy and Sneezy back there as the producers of this show today.
I was going to say Static Boy and Mr. Illness, but
Ricola.
Honestly, 4 of the worst jokes I've heard back to back to back. I can't believe you guys laughed at them like that. You guys are made for each other.
I'm
Clearly.
surprised you haven't said this show is terrible yet. I'm sure that's coming.
Well, it's working in the inner dialogue, but I'm fighting to keep it from coming out.
Mets have reportedly offered 3 years and between 120 and 140 for Kyle Tucker, as our learned friend Donovan said. Maybe not the best market for a quieter fellow like Tucker, but they could sure use his bat. Mike Tomlin is going to resign as Steelers head coach. They've had 3 during your lifetime, pretty sure, and they just don't do firings, as Declan said not long ago. Chargers have fired their OC, Greg Roman. Is Connor happy about this?
Connor was definitely happy. Connor was begging for him to get fired. Yesterday, really, I mean, I'm sure it's been a lot longer than yesterday, but yesterday on Gregor's show, him and Gregor kind of have he'll do a little bit of a introduction in the first segment as well, last couple of minutes. Connor probably doubled or tripled his average time yesterday, talking about how bad he wants Greg Roman gone.
Well, he'll have more good stuff to talk about today on the Jason Gregor show. Packers and Matt LaFleur are expected to reach an agreement on an extension. No surprise? Or are you surprised?
I'm surprised, personally.
We have Josh's mic on. Does he want to talk?
Well, that's, of course. I'm surprised just because, I don't know if you want to go the direction of firing Matt LaFleur. Maybe that's a conversation that's a little, I don't want to say out of left field, but maybe it's a little extreme if you want to use that phrasing. But working on a multi-year extension, that seems obviously opposite end of the spectrum. That seems kind of just as extreme for me as well. I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think he's a very good coach. I think he is quite a good coach, and I think he's done, well, all things considered. But it's also starting to creep into the territory of when was the last time, we won the division? Hey, I know we beat the piss out of the Cowboys when they were the number 2 seed in wildcard weekend a couple years ago, but when was the last time we were real true contenders? They haven't been that way post Aaron Rodgers, even though I do think Jordan Love is a fine young quarterback. And I think LaFleur has obviously kind of been the one who's been spearheading the Packers. I mean, obviously he's the head coach, but he's been at the helm.
Mutual interest between the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers for 2026. Was he good enough to bring back, boys?
Yeah, honestly, he didn't have a bad year. 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, only 7 picks. He was middle of the road in yards, middle of the road in touchdowns, middle of the road in QBR. And I'm not here to defend Aaron Rodgers because I do think his best days are behind him. Obviously, that goes without saying. But okay, you got one number 1 target who probably truthfully is either a number 2 on a really good team or a number 1 on a bad team. I know he was number 1 on a playoff team this year in DK Metcalf. He didn't have a ton of options. There are better quarterbacks out there, but I don't hate the move the way you might.
Falcons are meeting with John Harbaugh.
Perfect fit.
You think?
Well, I mean, look, that roster to me, outside of quarterback, that is they
got a lot of talent, but
almost as good of a roster as you're ever going to find.
What about Giants? Are they better? Would they be a better fit?
For Harbaugh?
Yeah. I think the Giants would be a better fit.
I disagree.
Because I just don't think Harbaugh's style fits the skill position players Atlanta has.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, for the first time since he entered this program, Donovan disagrees with somebody. It's shocking. Let's listen in.
I just think for Harbaugh that I think that defense in Atlanta, if you have John Harbaugh, I really like some of the players on that defense. Lots of young talent there. Maybe the skill position players aren't a perfect fit, but man, anytime you get a chance to coach Bijan Robinson and Drake London, I think you look at it and say, man, if I get my little tweaks onto this roster, I can turn this into a Super Bowl team.
I guess if you're John Harbaugh, do you want Bijan and Drake London and AJ Terrell, or do you want Malik Neighbors, Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart? I don't know, because I guess my thing also is I think we both agree that we'd rather have Jackson Dart over Michael Penix.
Yep.
And you're working out from the most important position. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
If you're Atlanta, would you rather have Harbaugh or McDaniel?
You'd go, in my mind,
Harbaugh's the head coach, McDaniel's the OC.
If you could get any,
you don't think McDaniel could get a head coach job?
I think he's going to get a head coaching job.
Right.
Really? Right away?
Yeah.
Oh, I
mean, look at the amount of interviews he's taking.
I know he is taking a lot. I think he's going to have to.
I think he's going to take Tennessee.
Let me ask you that. That's not bad at all. Let me ask you guys this, all three of you. If you're Mike McDaniel, do you go to some down and out, broken, below the hump team, maybe have a losing record for 3 years, get fired again? Or do you go to a good team, be their OC, a la the Eagles? I'm looking at you. LA's OC job just became open. Be a good OC there for 2 years and then get another head coaching job where you maybe have a little bit more runway.
So the choice is the Bengals or the Eagles. I probably ego aside, you probably want to go to the Eagles.
Well, the
Bengals
Lions
also have a head coach.
The Lions desperately want him
Trying to get a job
as their OC. The Lions desperately want Mike McDaniel to be their OC. So I don't know. If you're Mike McDaniel, I think what you do is you do what you do best, which is help a quarterback adjust to a new scenario. Which, if you're Mike McDaniel, and I know Tennessee would have probably the same type of desire with a Mike McDaniel hire, is you go in and you help out Cam Ward to the best of your abilities. He did that with Tua prior to the, we'll call it presumably CTE type of brain injuries that Tua had.
Right.
And you go in, you help Cam Ward out, and you get him a couple more weapons. I think Mike McDaniel is the perfect head coach for that type of scenario where you go in and you need to help out a young guy succeed.
So he's going to have options, obviously.
Yeah, he's going to have the options of, do I want to go to one of the best teams in the league and be the best OC in football? Or do I want to go and help out a young quarterback, try and make him succeed?
But if he becomes another head coach and fails, like it might be curtains on his head coaching career, at least for like a long time.
I don't know.
Does he want to risk that?
What
He's
if
pretty young?
But what if he helps Cam Ward succeed again?
Yeah.
Because
do you think he could turn maybe you do, like maybe he could. Do you think he could turn the Titans into a competent winning team in 2-3 years? Maybe.
Well,
Jeff Fisher could.
I don't think there's a better coach at getting the most out of an offense. Truthfully, I think you can look to that Miami team without Mike McDaniel, whereas Tua Tagovailoa. Does he ever get any form of money? I don't think he does. Like, I think Tua would have been on the scrap heap without Mike McDaniel.
I don't think Cam Ward's that, though.
You can say
I
that.
like Cam Ward a lot.
Like, Cam Ward had no help this year. If Cam Ward has someone to help him from a structure perspective as a head coach, scream up some better plays that suit him more, some more weaponry around him, there's no reason to me that Cam Ward can't ball out next year or the year after. It might take some time, but I don't know. I can see.
He just needs a smart head coach. I don't think there's a question of talent. Like, everyone on his Miami team that got drafted at the same time as him got cut before the season. He's the only guy from that Miami team that got drafted.
The 20 draft.
Aaron says LT was a bunch of gypsum and construction dust left in the HVAC system after the studio renovation. I've never heard a group with more respiratory issues than your Achoo crew. Well, I mean, Josh has claimed that he hasn't been unhealthy. I believe he has had periods of time when he didn't feel well.
I haven't been unhealthy since the summer.
No, you had a terrible cough for a while.
In the summer?
No, it was the fall or early winter, I believe.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, my old man brain tells me.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Declan or Brandon or Carius, who were all sick?
Yeah.
I have asthma.
Because I was sick the entire month of July, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when we partied a lot here. Remember that? It was all good. All right. You had something you wanted to say.
I was going to say, should we just got this text in from Patrick Swayze. We should probably address the old kicking motion deal.
Oh, with Zach Hyman's goal?
With Zach Hyman's goal?
Yeah.
It's a kicking motion off his leg.
Yeah, I didn't have as soon as I saw it, I thought it was not a goal. That was my feeling.
I was curious to see where they were going to take it because usually the kicking motion is with your foot.
Yeah.
But it goes off your leg with a kicking motion. So therefore, you don't just kick with your foot, you kick with your whole leg.
I expected the call to be 2 minutes for kicking motion, no goal, and a third round pick to the Calgary Flames, because that's how the Oilers roll with the referees in the NHL. But all right, we're going to talk a little bit of the Nashville Predators. They're an interesting team all of a sudden. Alex Doherty will join us from the Tennessean at 1. At 1:45 today ish. We have declinations. Hi, my name is. Do we have any clues? And are we doing 20 questions?
No. So we're actually doing something totally different today.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My brain is old.
No, it's I was thinking about it and I was like, why do I want to do this segment when all I get is pissed on for trying to make a fun game for everyone? Then I was like, you know what? It's my segment. It's sponsored by my podcast. I'm going to switch it up. Obviously, it's still going to be something that I'm going to involve you guys in.
The before teacher yelled at me too.
I don't want to spoil it. But I'm essentially going to be giving a list to have you guys react to.
Okay. Could you give us an example?
I really don't want to spoil it because I want it to be a surprise.
Well, Sandy Hawley, old time guy that nobody knows but me.
No, it's about football, current state of the NFL.
Okay. People really like that feature.
And we're gonna, yeah, they do. But
you've gotten sick of it.
I like it. I like it a lot. But like when I have to sit here Tuesday after Tuesday and get told how much of an idiot I am making up these games and I'm trying to have
gonna do
fun
that anyway.
for the three of you.
They're going to call you an idiot for making a list.
Well, and that's fair. If I get called an idiot for this one, it's going to be for good reason, and I'm honestly okay with that. And I want the pushback from you guys because that's exactly what this is for.
I feel like
this time I'll be an idiot.
He turned clip farming into a segment.
I'll be an idiot on my own terms.
I feel like this is the radio equivalent of hummus on the way. But
what's wrong? Hey, what's wrong with hummus?
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The not
McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Bouchard, and Ekholm to try to close it out. Face-off win for the Oilers. Bouchard toward the empty net. Bouchard puts it away with an empty netter. Floated this one down. It all starts with a little tie-up by Draisaitl. Good winger win. You need that when it comes up for grabs. You got to come up with.
Nothing. I win.
Great. Now I can nap.
It's best of 3.
Not in my kitchen, kid. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for... Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. wolfgmcbuick.com.
On Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. I like that guitar. It's really nicely done.
I can't believe how many people are disagreeing with the goal call. No goal call, I should say.
Yeah, it was, to me, it was not that big an issue.
It was pretty clear.
It was literally night and day. And people are saying, oh, it bounced off his shirt. No, it didn't.
Honestly,
bounced off his pant leg.
Jay says, if I punch you and miss and hit you with my arm, just think on it, sir. Well, this seems violent.
That's to back up his point. Every time you skate, you use a kicking motion.
Which is also not true.
Just not true.
But it's like you could make a kicking motion at center ice and nobody's going to talk about it. Hyman was in a scoring zone and he moved his leg in a provocative way, for lack of a better word. It looked like he was trying to score a goal by using something other than a stick. I'm sorry, but that's what it looked like. I'm not saying he's a bad man. I'm just saying in that play, I wasn't surprised it was no goal.
It would have been different had Hyman stood there, let the puck go off his leg,
right,
and go in the net. That would have been a goal. But Hyman lifted up his leg, took a big swing and a kick at it.
Right.
It went off his pant leg and into the net. Therefore, kicking motion, no goal.
Exactly. No problem at all. Trev says, I have more of a problem with the way Lowetide pronounces issue. Well, that's our friends at CBC. For many years, I'd say issue, which made me like part of the great unwashed. Fortunately, we have the CBC who gave us issue.
That might be my favorite thing you say.
Rusty says, no goal. Boo, Declan. I don't know what Declan did, but
no idea. But anytime we can say boo, Declan, it's a good day.
It was definitely reference to me not doing hi, my name is.
Oh,
that's a good point.
Well, let's use context clues, gentlemen.
Here's what I will say. Ordinarily, I would not like it either, but I trust Declan's instincts. If he says this new feature that we have is better, then I'm going to buy it.
And it's not going to be every Tuesday. It's kind of topical for this one. And it's going to, here's another little hint, kind of involves you more than Donovan and Josh Lowetide.
So it's about 1972 Boston Bruins.
Oh.
All right.
There we go.
Do you want to know the lines and pairings?
Yes.
No, it's okay. You don't have to put up with that. But I do know them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Oilers lines and pairings for tonight.
If you haven't looked at that yet. If you took all the goals that Hyman has taken away, it would be a good career for most players. Is there a total of all his disallowed goals? No, I think if you averaged 9 a season, you'd be about right, though. Seems like there's about 9 a year. I'm doing pauses today because I feel like it, but also I'm looking for I haven't seen lines and pairings. Has anybody seen them?
Well, given that it's a back-to-back.
Probably the same as yesterday.
Yes.
Although I think Howard might draw in for Montreal.
Howard probably draws in. No idea what the goaltending's going to be.
Well, Wallman will draw in, and I think Jari will draw in.
Jari should draw in, but we have no idea. But given that it's the back-to-back, they probably won't skate.
I worry. Jari's been hurt, same injury basically twice this year. You worry about that a little bit, I think.
It's valid. That's
Yeah.
fair.
In baseball, during preseason, during the Grapefruit or Cactus League, I always, when I was playing fantasy baseball or rotisserie baseball, I'd always worry that my best runners, the guys who could give me stolen bases, if they pulled a hammy early, that meant they were not going to have a very good year. And I don't know about goaltenders, but I'm sure it doesn't help when you have groin issues. And anyway, I feel as though the Oilers are like they've got a really nice window here of opportunity to win a bunch of games during January. And if they do that, there's a chance, I'm not saying it'll happen, but there's a chance they win the division. You know, I don't know if you looked at Carter Hart in Vegas, but that's not exactly a happening thing yet anyway. The division is winnable. And the teams that got off to really good starts were, you know, San Jose and Anaheim, and I think we have seen and expect progression. And Calgary looks like they're going to be a seller. Speaking of, if you had your druthers, which is a word, if you had your druthers and you were Stan Bowman on the phone with Craig Conroy, and he said, pick anybody, I don't care, I'll trade you anybody, would you go after Kadri or would you go after Anderson or another player? Coleman, say.
I would go after Kadri.
He's so playoff oriented, right? Perfect for the playoffs.
Kadri is, in my mind, the perfect mix of everything you want as a player. Brings you goal scoring, pretty decent playmaker, can win you some faceoffs, physical, an agitator. Kadri does everything. He may not be the best way to describe him would be, the old adage, what is it? Master of nothing.
Jack of all trades is the master of none,
nothing.
but he's far more useful than a master of one.
Again,
yeah,
that could be a promo for the show. Master of nothing. I like Anderson a lot, but I think that this team could really use a Kadri and a Coleman for that matter. What do you think,
Either
Josh? You know the plan.
Dude, you'd rather have a I mean, listen, Blake Coleman plays very hard, but if you get Nazem Kadri, there's no more arguments about who the 3C is anymore.
No. And he's tough, man. He is tough. And he's belligerent too. And I do think you need that. Like, nobody talks about intimidation, but there is such a thing as and I'm not saying there's a lot of cowards on the ice in an NHL game, but nobody likes to get hit really hard or take a stick to the face. And there are just some guys who are able to do that, and the Oilers don't have a Corey Perry this year. Corey Perry was quietly filthy his whole career here in Edmonton. And the Oilers don't have that, really. And I mean, Frederick has some of those elements, but we don't know if he's going to play in the playoffs that much. So maybe they could get a Kadri. That would be a dream anyway. Anyone who's ever played any kind of decent hockey was not surprised that was no goal. Come on, fans, from Jeff Boucher. LOL, Kadri is not intimidating anyone. I maybe I used the wrong word, but what I mean is that there is an edge you can play with, and Kane certainly had it, and it was over the referees felt it was over the line the whole time. But I do think you need that kind. You don't want to head to the penalty box all the time, but you want to have some uncertainty on the other side. And I think the Oilers had it against Florida a year ago. So are the Oilers rolling with 3 goalies for the time being? What would the trade of Pickard be? Wouldn't want to lose some waivers for 0. Dunner, North Van. I think it would be waivers right now. And that's one of the reasons they don't want to do it, because they'd like to have that third guy. But I don't think this is going to sound wrong, and I don't mean it to. Where Pickard is in his career and the performance that he's had so far this year, I don't think he has high trade value. Is that outrageous to say?
I would say he has almost 0 trade value.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, but
that's like,
I think he'd get picked up though.
He'd get picked up for free, based on how many teams are struggling for healthy goaltenders.
Can't you just see him in a Philly uniform?
I could see him in a Carolina uniform.
Well, Carolina picks every goalie off waivers. They do, just for fun, and then they wait, and then they offer him back. Nathan and Beaumont. Saying one can kick with their thigh is equivalent to saying one can punch with their neck. That call was ridiculous, as is the take that says it was the right call, Nathan and Beaumont. I don't know why we're talking about this still. It was a clear call.
Do we want me to read the rule book? Because I have the whole last page in front of me.
Well, how long is it?
It's stupid. I'm not reading it.
Josh looked up Hockey Reference, and it took 2 hours yesterday.
It was brutal, but obviously Donovan didn't bring that up, so he doesn't watch on his days off.
Wow.
If you think it's a ridiculous call, go look at the rule book yourself. It is clear as day. And for some of you like Team Dean, according to the rule, a kicking motion is off the foot or skate. Not true. Do you kick with your foot? No, you kick with your whole leg. Your foot is not the part that is, winding up. Your foot is just basically staying in constant motion with your leg. You kick with your leg.
The definition of kick is strike or propel forcibly with the foot.
But your leg is what is motioning. The point,
not by the official dictionary definition.
Well, by the NHL rule book.
I was going to say, let's go to the NHL rule book. I think that one's a little more pertinent.
By the NHL rule book, a kicked puck that deflects off the body of any player on either team shall be ruled no goal.
This is ridiculous. It was no goal.
It is just no goal.
This is do you know how the offside rule started? It was the most ridiculous offside. Went 600 feet up in the air. It was clearly offside. They didn't call it. And now we have this rule where a scintilla, a Donovan facial hair difference means it's offside and no goal. This was no goal. Did the commentators say, I think that's a goal? I always watch with the sound down. But I don't think anybody who's watched a lot of hockey would consider that a goal. And I'm surprised that people are so mad about it.
And here you go. So a goal cannot be scored by an attacking player who kicks with any equipment. So you can't kick it with your stick. Like if you were to kick your stick.
Cup.
If you kick, basically punch it with your glove, headbutt it, etc.
Right.
So if you're headbutting, punching, all of that type of stuff, they consider that to be a kick. So if you are propelling any body part forward, basically, it's considered a kick.
Jordan says, when did this show become educational? I'm out. Well, we didn't want to, believe me, and we're getting right back to the nonsense. Don't worry about that. Okay, coming up in hour number 2, Alex Doherty will join us from the Tennessee and to talk about the Predators. They're coming on here recently. What's it all about? We'll find out from Alex. We also have Declinations, a new kind of wild version of Declinations today. We're looking forward to it. And, of course, we'll talk about the Oilers tonight against Nashville and a little bit about their win over Chicago last evening. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom at 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2, or visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Edmonton Oilers have activated goaltender Tristan Jarry and defenseman Jake Wallman from LTIR. Team has also placed forward Adam Henrique on LTIR and moved goaltender Connor Ingram from emergency recall status to regular recall. Oilers will, of course, be in action tonight as they are in Nashville to take on the Predators. 6 p.m. puck drop for that one. The day's action getting going with 4 games at 5 o'clock. Vancouver and Ottawa, Tampa and Pittsburgh, Montreal and Washington, and Calgary and Columbus. In the NBA, action tips off at 5:30 with the Phoenix Suns in Miami to take on the Heat. The line for that one currently -1.5 for the Heat. In the 2 national games, we'll see San Antonio, who is 3-0 against Oklahoma City this year, in Oklahoma City at 6, and Portland and Golden State at 9. News from around the sporting world. Historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh has come to an end for Mike Tomlin as he informed the team he is stepping down as head coach. They will now look for their 4th head coach since 1969. Greg Roman has been fired as the Los Angeles Chargers offensive coordinator. In other football news, and in the MLB world, the Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired 8-time All-Star third baseman Nolan Arenado in a trade with the Cardinals. The Cardinals also sent $31 million to the Diamondbacks as Arenado, who has 2 years left on the 9-year, $275 million contract he originally signed with the Rockies before the 2019 season, has agreed to waive his no-trade clause to complete the deal. And finally, Dallas Maverick star Anthony Davis is expected to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand and miss several months. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Just think, Kevin Karius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Karius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Looking for auto parts without the dealership price tag? You'll save big here at Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. From engines and alternators to doors and glass, we carry quality tested used parts at unbeatable prices. Why spend thousands when you can spend hundreds? Keep your car and your budget running strong with Ed's Auto Salvage. I'm Lisa, inviting you to stop in soon or visit us online. We offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. edsautosalvage.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Buick, family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com on Twang Tuesday as we think about Dolly Parton, who, by the way, not well enough to attend a big 80th birthday celebration at the Grand Ole Opry. But she's still making the music, and she is still an absolute gift to humanity. And so is our next guest, if I may dovetail that way. Alex Doherty joining us now from the Tennessean. Thanks. We appreciate you.
Wow, that's quite an introduction. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about Nashville because as the year goes by, sometimes, and it's nobody's fault, but teams lose a little bit and you sort of go, well, they're kind of done. But Nashville didn't really feel that way, obviously, as they went through the holidays very successfully. 6-4-0 in their last 10, won 3 in a row. And they're right there now. Like they're 45 games, 46 points. That puts them in the hunt, and this isn't over yet for Nashville.
No, it definitely isn't. And they've been doing it for long enough to notice, right? I mean, like teams can go through little 3-4 game spurts here and there, but the Predators have won 15 of their last 24 games, going back to right before Thanksgiving, which is basically when people were ruling them out, right? I mean, at U.S. Thanksgiving, they were in last place in the I didn't want to say in the entire league, but definitely in the Western Conference, and things were looking pretty poor. And then they've found a way to generate a little bit more offense. Their goaltending has been better. And yeah, they're within striking distance of a wild card position. Now, we can have a conversation about, whether that's worth it for them, because, if they end up facing someone like Edmonton or Colorado in the first round, that would be pretty much a done deal. It wouldn't be much of a series. But considering that this team last year had one of its worst years in franchise history, making the playoffs in the following year, that would be would at least be a little bit of a jolt of energy in the building. So it's been interesting to watch it happen, because especially because of who is doing it. Steven Stamkos has been red hot of late, and they've had a much more dangerous attack. But this team is not going to be a score 4 or 5 goals a night. It's going to have to grind out some 3-2 wins in order to keep doing it. So obviously that's going to be tough against Edmonton tonight, but that's what it's been like. It's been a lot of just 2-1, 3-2 overtime wins, kind of things like that for the last 2 months or so.
And, we talk about these players who have played well, Stamkos being an example. But, Stamkos, Ryan O'Reilly, Marchessault, those are players that they're on the trade boards, and we don't know how long they'll be there. Is it, in your opinion, going to be an active deadline of selling for the Predators this year?
I actually wrote about this today at the Tennessee, and I am starting to think that a sell-off will not be coming for the Predators this year. And I think there's a few reasons for that. Number one, they don't have a ton of options. I think the sale of someone like a Stamkos or a Marchessault, I really just don't see that happening in season anyway, because of the complications with the contract and the no trade clauses you'd have to get them to waive. And I just don't think Barry Trotz wants to do that in season. So then the other options are Ryan O'Reilly, who wouldn't be just a rental, and is their by far their biggest trade asset, and he would get the most. But if you trade him, it is waving a giant white flag on the season. And I just don't. Barry Trotz just is not a white flag guy. He is never going to give up on a season if they're close. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And then the other guys that they could trade, Eric Halla, Michael Bunting, Michael McCarron, you're going to get a mid-round guy or a mid-round pick back for that guy. And is that really worth it? I mean, do you need another third-round pick for 2027? I guess. I mean, that's fine, but you're not going to get a ton for those guys. So I don't see a big sell-off coming. Maybe they move Michael Bunting for a second-round pick or something like that, and that would be fine. But there's not going to be a huge sell-off.
The Oilers are bringing a couple of former Preds defensemen, most recently Spencer Stastny being dealt. And I noticed that Reed Schaefer, I've watched him a little bit. He seems like a player who's going to be able to help this team for years to come. What's the early word on Reed Schaefer of the Nashville Predators?
I've actually been pretty impressed. I was not too high on him in that draft, and I really just watching his junior career in the WHL, and then when he was with Milwaukee, he does some good things. He's a big physical guy. You just wondered about the puck skill, and I mean honestly, he's been okay in that area. He's not terrible with the puck. He makes some good decisions, and he's good on that line, specifically with Michael McCarron and Cole Smith. His ceiling is probably third line. He's not a top six guy. I don't see that. But you could do worse than finding a bottom of the order kind of physical guy who can put up 10, 12 goals a year. So I like him so far. We'll see what happens once he gets a few more games in and if he can continue it going. But I like him so far. I am curious to hear how Spencer Stastny is doing. I've not heard much about him. I assume that he's playing and people like him, but I'm curious. What's the word up there on Stastny?
He's played well. He's third pairing. He has slid up at times with Darnell Nurse, struggled at times, but what I like about him is he's got really good foot speed and he can close a gap, and his positioning is all Nashville defensemen seem to be really good at positioning, and Stastny has been that. Fans are pretty excited about him because when you make a trade, they dealt off Kulak and then replaced him with Stastny. You don't know, and he wasn't a famous player when he arrived here, but he's played well for Edmonton.
Yeah, that was the thing that really kept him in the league, or really got him to the league, was his speed, right? I mean, you can tell he's a great skater. He was a good skater at Notre Dame as well. It was always like, you never knew what he was going to do on the offensive end. He could usually skate himself out of trouble in the defensive end, but could he create on the other end? We never really saw much of that, so I'm curious about that end too. But Stastny's such a great guy too. I think he's a wonderful player. Just kind of a numbers game, honestly, for the Predators. They had 8D, and they really didn't need that eighth defenseman, and they couldn't. If they waived him, he'd probably get claimed. So they at least got something out of him.
What I like about Nashville's, retool or whatever you want to call it, is they don't put a bunch of teenagers in the lineup. One young player who has, played and scored 8 goals is Matthew Wood. What kind of player are we looking here at this former first-round pick, and what kind of future does Matthew Wood have with Nashville?
Yeah, I think he's they see him as part of the core of the future. They definitely need him to be like a solid shooting winger in the top 6 for the future. Maybe maybe he has a good future with someone like Brady Martin as his center. That would be a really good really good pairing for the future. He's learning. He had to sit out a few games. He was healthy, scratched a few games. I think the coach Burnett said it was just to give him a reset. I think that was probably a fair thing to do. A lot of those goals and points he scored, I want to say, in like a 10 to 12 game stretch. So he's not really done much recently. It's like any 20-year-old playing the NHL. You're going to do some things that impress people, and then they're going to pick up on it real quick and shut you down, and you're going to have to adjust pretty quickly. So he's adjusting now, but he's very physical, great reach, and a good shot. And if he can build that, I think he's got a good future ahead.
The goaltending situation in Nashville over the last little while, how has it looked, and what's the future in Nashville? They've always have a famous goalie as a starter in Nashville, but how are they looking, and how do you see them rolling out here as the days go by in net?
Yeah, well, I mean, the future really is also the present right now. I mean, UC Saros just signed an 8-year deal. He's in the first year of that right now. And he will be here for a long time. I mean, it's going to be UC Saros at least for the next, 4, 5, 6 years, unless something, unless he falls off even more. He's not had a good couple of years, so people are nervous about that. But he still has a really solid base and a really solid, foundation of playing in this league. And so I feel like they are okay there. Their backup, Justus Annunen, a much bigger player, much more of a Pecorine type, like a big, athletic, tall guy in net. Very different from Saros. He just signed an extension too. So really the goaltending right now, it's going to be Saros and Justus Annunen in net for at least the next few years. They drafted a guy named Jack Ivankovic who played for the World Juniors team for Canada. He looks really solid playing for Michigan right now, so he's probably the next coming. But yeah, goaltending for Nashville has never been an issue, and I'm sure Edmonton Oilers fans are wringing their hair about that because that's always been an issue up there. And Nashville's always had an issue with goal scoring. So if you put the two teams together, you probably have a pretty good team. It's
Nashville's always fun, I think, because they are, they play a certain style and they maintain that style, and they're devoted to it, and they've had great players there, but mostly what works is the system. And when they get a young player who comes up and has a look, they they are often creative and unique individuals. And so I haven't seen him much, but I wanted to ask you about Adam Wilsby, who's from Sweden. He was chosen in 2020. Took him a while to make it through Milwaukee and up to the Nashville Predators. But what are we looking at here in his first full season?
Similar to what I was saying about Matthew Wood, he's had some learning. He's learned a lot in this season, especially. This is his first time getting an extended look. He got injured last year fairly early on and was out the rest of the year. So that really kind of hurt his development because he was on his way to being a top 4 guy. I still see him as like in the mold of a Matthias Ekholm, but probably not that ceiling. I mean, he's not going to be that athletic and that consistent of a defenseman year in and year out. I think if he was to mold into a Matthias Ekholm, it would be perfect, right? But that's kind of the style that he has, and he might have a little bit more foot speed. He's a little bit. I think right now he's kind of caught between trying to shore up his defensive end and trying to create offensively. He really just needs to find something in his game that works consistently. Now, having said all that, I really like the guy. I mean, he's a very solid piece moving forward. I think the Predators see him as one of the defensemen of the future for this team, in addition with some guys who are in Milwaukee right now, like Tanner Molendyke and Andrew Gibson and some other guys. But Wilsby will be around. They're going to give him an extended look here the rest of the season, and we'll see what he looks like next year.
And final question is in regard to Luke Evangelista. He's played a couple hundred games now in the National Hockey League, part of the 2020 draft. I've always followed him. I find him to be an interesting player with some nice skill level. Is he kind of running in place year over year, or do you see improvement?
Oh, this year he's been a much better player. He's been far more improved this year. I think the biggest issue for him last year was he was getting bodied in the corners, right? He's a littler guy. He's not real quick. And so he was just getting lost in the corners. He would find the puck there and then just either a turnover or the defenseman just bodied him up. He's been much better at navigating through the offensive zone. And to be honest, he's also playing a lot with Ryan O'Reilly. That has really helped. So Ryan O'Reilly is doing a lot of that dirty work, and they're playing off each other well. Evangelista's been feeding Steven Stamkos, been feeding Phil Forsberg to create goals. He only has 6 goals. I'd like to see him shoot a little bit more. I think he's got a better shot than his numbers suggest. But he will be a consistent playmaker just based on his skill with the puck. I mean, if he becomes a 30 to 40 assist guy with 10, 15, 20 goals a year, that's a huge win for Nashville. I mean, Nashville is not down here creating, drafting and developing, incredible forwards like other places like Edmonton are. They have to get little bits here and there that tend to work. And so if Evangelista can become a playmaking forward in the top 6, that's great. And he's only 23, so he could definitely even improve from there. We'll see if he can continue the rest of this year the way he started it. So he's been a lot better this year.
All right. Thanks for this. Appreciate it, Alex.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Y'all take it easy.
There you go. Alex Doherty from the Tennessean. The second coolest guy in Nashville today.
Who's number 1?
Merle. Merle's passed away, but.
All right, so where's Kid Rock on the ranking?
He did do a picture with, what's her name? I like her. You're my favorite mistake. I can't remember the name of the artist. Isn't that awful?
You're gonna need to sing more of it for us.
Is Kid Rock, like, I know he ruined Sweet Home Alabama, but he's not a bad person, is he?
See, I actually think it's the opposite. I think that song was nails, but he is in fact a bad person.
I think anytime you ruin Sweet Home Alabama like that, you're a bad person.
I just want to hear the original. Like, get out of the, Sheryl Crow. He sang Picture with Sheryl Crow. Sheryl Crow's so cool. She does a song with Emmylou Harris. It's Pale Blue Eyes, the Velvet Underground Lou Reed song. So good. Oh, it's live. It's so good. All right, 117. I'm rambling. We have declinations on the way, and you are on fire. You're never going to guess what you're mad about. Well, maybe you will. We'll talk about it next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Every lunchtime, hang with Lowetide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Lowetide and Declan Krueger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Breaking down the fine art of sports.
One rep at a time.
The Lowdown
with Lowetide.
Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check it out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Oh, that song takes me back. I love Merle. Big Merle fan. Okay. Text line is on fire. Mostly because Donovan's arguing with everybody. Boy, people sure were after the Sheryl Crow. They knew that I was trying to think of Sheryl Crow. I want to read this. This is from Hab Fan. A tip of the hat for your show, Lowetide. It's informative and entertaining. I listen to TSN 690 a lot because I'm a huge Habs fan. They don't hold account to your show, but their content, Habs, makes the show. Hab Fan. Well, the show is basically like today, it's 4 people, right? So what I do is I surrender the microphone to these, for lack of a better word, hyenas or jack-o'-lanterns, and then they just take off with it. So I appreciate the compliment, but it really is more of a, what do you call it when it's more than one person?
Collaborative village?
Yeah, collaborative. Notice how you said team effort. He said takes a village, and I said collaborative. All work.
Yes.
You know.
In unison.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Kid Rock's from Detroit. He's a poser. Don't they like country music in Detroit? Who's the guy from Australia? Keith Urban. Country music is
Keith
like...
Urban's Australian?
Isn't he?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure
I don't
he
listen
is,
to country.
because his wife was Nicole Kidman.
You listen to... Man, there's a poll.
Was Nicole Kidman.
No.
He is, he's Australian.
You like that country guy, Brian, whatever his name is.
Zach Bryan?
Yeah, you like him.
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, he's country music.
I'm aware, but just because I like a country artist doesn't mean I like country music as a whole.
But I think you're so defensive about it. I can feel as though you would like to come out and say, I like country music, but you're afraid to because you're intimidated by Donovan.
Donovan is no offense, Donovan. I beat him in an arm wrestling contest. I'm not very intimidated by Donovan.
You say that.
Height to weight ratio, yes, he's taller than me, but I weigh a lot more than him.
Well, I mean, if that's the brag here, I think I got you both done. But I think you should just say I like country music, and then I'll let it go.
I'm not going to say I like country music because I don't, on the whole.
Is Zach Bryan the guy who had the run-in with the Barstool girl?
No. Oh, yes. Brianna Chicken Fry.
Yes.
I had no idea what was going on.
Somebody called Brianna.
Didn't he give her a certain
dude, I don't remember.
Disease?
I have no idea. I was at work one day when I was being told about this. When I was working at the bar full time.
Is this something that is salacious and shouldn't be mentioned on the radio?
Yes.
Okay.
After disease. Yeah.
Not the
go
story part. I was just like, hey, what's all this Zach Bryan stuff? And she says, oh, Josh, let me tell you. And for 3 hours, she told me all about the whole Brianna Chicken Fry, Zach Bryan thing. And I held on to exactly none of it.
I just wanted everybody to know, I don't want to know about your personal lives.
That's too bad.
No, but I mean, and I'm not being insulting. But
Pandora's box.
Whatever you do is fine as long as it's not, imposing on somebody else and their free will. But I don't want to hear about it. And I don't want to hear about artists either, because usually they do strange stuff. Have you ever read about Jimmy Page?
No.
Not particularly.
Okay. Never read about Jimmy Page. I had to read it.
Jimmy Page right now.
Exactly what I was going to do too.
God. Just the
English guitarist?
David Bowie was at his castle for a weekend and went home and never returned ever, despite many, many, many invitations.
I mean, hey, those guys get...
Let's go personal life.
Can I say get jiggy with it?
Walter says Merle said he regretted recording Okie from Muskogee because people saw it as it was political, and he was just writing about how his dad's generation saw the world, except that everything's politics, and it even was then. Okie from Muskogee came out during the Richard Nixon years, and if you think music wasn't political, then you're wrong, but everything was political. Everything was political back then. All in the Family was political. It was a TV show.
Tide, MTR really wants to know, did you ever read about Diddy? P. Diddy?
No, I don't want. Please don't tell me.
No, we're not going to.
Bo Callahan's agent?
Yeah, Bo Callahan's agent.
Wow.
No, I don't want. See, I don't want to know because everybody's awful.
Man, this is a real slippery slope, particularly.
Okay. All right. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm glad.
If you ever read about P. Diddy, you'd never look at Baby O the same way.
Henceforth, why the slope is slippery.
Oh,
we'll leave it there.
Zinger.
This segment has gone off the rails.
Well, I'm afraid
this
to
segment
know.
Never
So
started.
I don't want to know.
No,
right?
you that is one of those you genuinely don't want to know. If you're stay blissfully ignorant.
Watch this segue. So the Oilers are playing tonight in Nashville.
And that's what 45 years in radio gets you, folks.
And it's going to be a good game because it's a back-to-back for the Oilers. They won't have the torque that they had last night, but they're in a really good spot. Even if they lose, they're fine. But man, if they win, because right now the Oilers are, just checking the record here, they are 23-16-7, 53 points in 46 games. And if they win tonight, now they're at 55-47. They're on their way to 60 points before they get to game 50. Maybe they'll be close, maybe they'll be beyond, but the schedule is so inviting. They have the Islanders at home, and then they have the Canucks on the road. Then it's Blues, Devils, Penguins, Caps at home, Ducks, Sharks, Wild at home. You should be able to win 3 games in that and probably get 8 or 9 points in that long homestand at the end. When you do, you're going to be coming out of January. The Olympic break is just around the corner, and you're looking at 100 points. And if Vegas falters at all, and they got a goalie who's not a little wobbly right now, it's possible. You just got to keep going, keep on keeping on. Got to get that third and fourth line fixed. Wallman and Nurse have to work out, and I have to say that I think they got a goalie in Connor Ingram. I'll even say this. I think Connor Ingram will get signed in the offseason, and I think there's a chance that he becomes the starter at some point in the next 2 or 3 years. What say you?
I don't know about starter based on what they acquired Tristan Jarry for, but I would say there's a good chance that Connor Ingram can become a 1B to Tristan Jarry's 1A.
I really like the way Ingram's playing. He's calm feet, right?
Yep.
And just the puck hits him and it doesn't go boing, right?
I think Connor Ingram, I've never described a goalie as smart before, but he just looks
and
like
they resent you for that.
He just looks like a smart goalie where you can tell he's able to predict the game to a higher level. That's what it looks like to me.
Right.
Whereas you can watch some guys and they don't have the same level of ability to predict. I think he predicts the game better than Stuart Skinner did. I think he is able to get out in front of what he believes the next play is. Sometimes maybe you'll guess wrong a little bit.
Right. But he tracks the puck pretty well.
Tracks the puck really well. He does a lot of I've been impressed with every part of his game pretty much.
No, I just love that. I'm starting to relax on the rebound possibilities, and that's a sign of think of a good goalie.
And Connor Ingram, for all of your intelligence, you are repaid by being the 1B, not a full-fledged starter.
Well, I think he could be.
I think he could be a starter.
Yeah. Dodgers were reporting, or at least there were reports that Freddie Freeman wanted to play for Team Canada in the WBC. He's declined for personal reasons. He's had some weird injury, some off the field bathtub types. Baseball players do weird stuff, trim the hedges, try to, unwrap packages, cook. They do weird stuff and they get hurt. Jordan Romano, by the way, is out too. Jamison Tyon is in though. And Liam Hicks and Tyler Black are as well. Are you going to watch the WBC at all?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
a
baseball,
blast.
Right?
It's baseball at its best. It's like the Olympics for baseball.
I just love it when the years go by and you forget about it. And then you see Shohei on the mound and then you're like, oh my God, that did happen, right? It's great for, you got to watch it so you can have the memories.
And shout out to the U.S. team for being smart. They took Buffalo hockey legend Ernie Clement and added him to the roster.
And good for Clement, right? Just a guy, he got really, was it the Athletics? I can't remember what team just threw him to the ditch.
He got thrown to the ditch by the Guardians and the Athletics.
Right. And,
two famously very smart franchises.
Well, and when he got to Toronto, I mean, he had like a backpack and maybe 2 sets of underwear. He didn't have much, and he's built from there. I love it.
Some Eagles news for you. Not surprising, but it's official now. The Eagles have fired offensive coordinator Kevin Petula.
Well, about damn time.
I'm shocked it took that long.
Could have done it game 8, game 9,
maybe game 5. He was the other guy. Now that he's gone, he's gone too. But my God, Arthur Smith is a terrible.
That's the problem. You win a Super Bowl and then everybody wants your guys.
Well, Mike McDaniel, future OC for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Be nice.
No, I think he's gonna. I Tennessee head coaching.
Declan's not here, so I got to do my impersonation. Well, I think he'd probably go to the Eagles. It's a better move. That's me doing an impersonation of Declan.
It is a better move.
Well, that's Declan. He's smart.
Well, I guess it depends on what you want, right? If you want money, if you want.
Oh, he wants to be a head coach. They all do.
Yeah, of course. They always want a head coach.
Yeah.
But
Declan won't have an opinion on this.
You're offered the head coaching job of the Titans, or you're offered a very good chance at winning a Super Bowl with the roster. Could you imagine?
He could win the Super Bowl and get a better head coaching job.
What kind of offensive plays he could draw for the Philadelphia Eagles?
What do you think, Declan?
Kevin Petula is officially fired, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were right. Tried to defend him. After week 5, it became pretty, maybe week 6 or 7, it became pretty evident he was indefensible. I like Cliff Kingsbury. I like Mike McDaniel for the opening. Kevin Petula, I don't know. He's going to have to go be a passing game coordinator. somewhere else for a while before he gets another OC shot. Like he had an unbelievable situation with the talent they have on that offense and just completely squandered it. Cliff Kingsbury is a guy who I thought was unceremoniously fired in the division from Washington. I could see him going there and really doing some pretty crazy things with that talent. Obviously, Mike McDaniel. Is that who you guys were talking about? Because that's probably one of the names that's on the tip of everyone's tongue. It's a really sought after position because exactly what you guys just said as I was walking in, whoever goes there is going to, if they do a good job, if they do the right things, they're going to fast track themselves to another head coaching job.
And probably a better spot than he can get now. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, like, listen, could he maybe get a head coaching job? Donovan's thrown at the Titans. That's a good shout. Like, you would rather be a head coach than an OC. It's you get the credit, you get a bigger payday, but you also get kicked to the curb the second things go bad. And, fair, that can happen with OCs as well. But I'm just not sold going to one of these down and out teams and being the head coach there for a couple of years, not turning it around is better than being an OC.
But what about
for
the
a
Panthers
team that's a
situation?
Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
Remember what we said about Dave Canales when he went to the Panthers?
Yeah, the Panthers,
that was a pretty hopeless team too.
They
different.
They lost more games than they won this year. Like it's not like it was Liam Cohen with Jacksonville, who also had their season end early. Like Dave Canales had a losing record in Carolina this year.
But based on when he went there, that was a hopeless team, and you can see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but even still, like if Dave Canales goes 8-9 every year and wins the division, like is that enough to keep his job 5 years down the road?
Well, I can tell you right
if
now,
you're winning the division, maybe.
I can tell you right now, I believe in Dave Canales as a head coach based on how quickly he's turned around the Panthers.
No, yeah, I like Dave Canales as well. But we said the same thing about Mike McDaniel after a couple of years. And then 2 years after that, he was fired because the team had certain expectations that he could no longer meet. I'm not saying it's going to be the same in Carolina, but it's certainly a possibility.
All right. 135, a couple of things we want to pass along. Bob Weir, one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead, you can hear his voice, as well as Jerry Garcia's and Phil Lesh's voice, too, in Ripple, which is one of the all-time classic songs of the Grateful Dead. He passed away at the age of 78. If you ever want to read about a rock and roll band that did a lot of everything, read about the Grateful Dead, because they did it all. And then Scott Adams, who was the author of the comic strip Dilbert, which a lot of my generation loved, passed away, and he died at 68. On the way, a brand new feature. It's still Declinations, but it's going to be a little bit of a tweak, and Declan's going to explain the tweak to us, and then we're all going to love the idea next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Clear out the old and make room for new trends. The Brick is holding their store-wide inventory clearance event. Scratch and dent, last year's models, and overstock is up to 70% off. Score mattresses starting at just $99, sofas starting at just $399, and dining chairs starting at just $28. And this Friday to Monday, check out incredible 4-day deals, like save the tax when you buy 2 or more eligible major appliances. Check out The Brick in Edmonton with 4 locations. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. I'm thinking we could listen to You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma by Shelley West, or Lacey J. Dalton's 16th Avenue, or John Williams, If I Needed You. But they're all really good today. Declan, you did a great job. Time for Declanations, brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca, article, podcast, and more, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double E football coverage online and really out in the ether too. elksnation.ca. And now, with a brand new idea he's bringing to us live, it's Declan Krueger.
Yeah, I wanted to do this one, like I said, topical, post-playoffs, and I obviously wanted to get your guys' opinions on it. And funnily enough, we were talking about Jalen Hurts during the break. And the subject I wanted to bring up today is the quarterbacks I would take over Jalen Hurts.
We only have 20 minutes.
So I've broken this down into tiers. I'll give you, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers.
Good God.
Some of them will go quick. I'll start with this one, and the not even blinking tier, like I'm not even thinking about it. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. I don't think you guys are pushing back on that at all.
No, you have 3 MVP winners and guys with absolute cannons for arms.
How many of them don't have a Super Bowl ring?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Not always about the Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
no, I understand.
Like any of those good. Like I hate. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm thinking about it, because like that whole, Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl. Yeah, he doesn't. That's great. But like the Eagles is a team. Jalen Hurts did not put that team on his back and win them a Super Bowl. And the narrative is Jalen Hurts' career continues. I don't think it's going to be this, because I don't think Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. But we'll see how it plays out. But listen,
is injury going to derail him?
I don't know. You got to account for it. Like it's
no, but you can't just say, "Well, he sucks" because he had a shoulder injury. And that's a real thing.
You can't tell me you have any problem with any of those 5 names I just listed.
I do not.
I would personally have Herbert in a different tier, based on the
absolute fair enough
collapses he's had in the playoffs. Now, I will say this one, not his fault.
No, not at all.
I mean, anytime 31 dropbacks, pressured 30 times.
Yes.
Yep.
That's blasphemous.
That's more than fair. The second tier I have here is emphatic yes. And in that tier, I have Drake May and Matt Stafford.
I like Matt Stafford. I still don't know if I'm there with Drake May.
It's too early, right?
That's fair too. Because Jaden Daniels last year would have been in this category than he had this year. He had, where he was obviously injured a lot, but he wasn't. But like, this is my thing. Like, Drake May is going to either win or be probably be runner up for the MVP this year.
I'm with you, Deck, on this one. I like this tier. There is one other guy that I would have in this tier, though.
Okay, well, we moved to tier 3.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert would be down here, though. But I would have one guy who I would assume is in this next tier.
We moved to tier 3, which is yes. And in that tier, I have Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak Prescott.
I'd probably have Caleb Williams higher, actually. I'd probably have him in the previous one.
Jaden is my guy that I would go up. I would keep Caleb in this tier. Caleb's a polarizing player.
Any issue with Jared or Trevor or Dak?
Trevor, yes. Trevor and Caleb belong in the same tier in my mind.
I don't know how you could say that. Trevor Lawrence has 7 interceptions over 2 playoff games.
Man, they both kind of are prone to interesting decisions in my mind. What's
the age difference between those two? Like, how many years experience has Lawrence had compared to Williams?
What's this
in
now?
the NFL?
Extra 3 years?
Okay,
Yeah.
so then I would probably feel like Williams is going to develop over those 3 years.
Oh, to Caleb Williams. Yeah, like extra 4.
Caleb's throws on the run are monumentally impressive.
That was a great throw the other night.
But then his throws in the pocket, I'm like, how the hell do you miss this bad? Like, if only he could throw on the run every time. I don't know. I'm not a big Caleb guy. I probably won't ever be unless he can improve his shocking accuracy at times. I would also have Brock Purdy in there.
Okay. Interesting you bring Brock Purdy up. Tier number 4, I have leaning yes, but wanted to hear your thoughts. And in that, I only have 2 names, Brock Purdy and Jordan Love.
I don't think this tier needs to exist. I think I'm with Donovan. Purdy up. I'd put Jordan Love down.
I see, personally, when I'm looking at Hurts versus a guy like Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking Hurts all day of the week. I am same with Caleb Williams right now.
Okay.
I can't take Caleb
So
Williams.
you have him
over
about
Hurts.
12. You have Hurts around 12 or so?
I'd be higher.
That would be probably higher. But for me, like a guy like Dak Prescott, that is potentially, in my mind, the most underrated quarterback in the league at this point.
I like Prescott.
Everybody poo-poos Dak for.
Well, it's because his
the
owner
playoffs.
is a doofus.
The playoff success for Dak, you can point to that, but you can also point to flawed rosters. I don't know. I watch Dak and I almost feel bad for him at this point based on what he's had to deal with.
Like, I think about Dax as a pure passer, and I really think he's really, really underrated. Like, what he's able to do with his arm. I think he's like a really good passer. He obviously has 2 great targets now and has had a number 1 target in
Would he be better next year with the Eagles than Hurts?
That's what I guess what the
like
question
if we were
is here.
putting if we were swapping these players
yeah.
out onto the Eagles, I think he would be better on the Eagles than Jalen Hurts.
What about Caleb Williams, who don't think he's consistent enough?
I think
Hurts misses the balls.
I think Caleb would be better on the Eagles than Hurts would be on the Bears.
I
agree.
That's an interesting way of taking it, and I would.
Because that's like, this is obviously open to interpretation. Like, you could do it like, who do you just like better as a quarterback right now? You could do it if they swap teams, as who's better. Like, I kind of combined everything for my 7 tiers here. But like I said, it is kind of to a degree up to interpretation. The one thing I didn't want to factor in because of age was if I'm starting a franchise from scratch. And I also didn't want to put the contracts into the conversation because I just wanted to be about pure football talent and fit on the teams in the conversation.
The other thing I want to put in about Brock Purdy is, like, first of all, playoff performer.
Yep.
Second of all, he started the year off really slow. He had, 5 interceptions over 3 games or something like that. It was bad. Maybe it was more than that. And then this year he had 5 interceptions over 9, when he came back, it was 4 or 5 interceptions over 9 games or something. I'm like, he's nails.
All right.
And I think he's very accurate as a passer.
So I have a question about Hurts. Do you think he cannot recover from the injury or from his level of play? There's not another, because he's a veteran, right? He's played a long time. Whatever he is. Injuries and development are done. And so he could get injured worse. But as a player, has he peaked and now he's on the downside?
I think he can recover. I don't think he's a bad quarterback at all. I really want to reiterate that. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but I do think he is very limited. And I said this yesterday. I think on a team that is so complete all the way around, the greatest limit they have is what their quarterback is able to do, and it happens to be at the most important position.
Do you think the fact that the at least one wideout was sulking and not, necessarily in game mode would have impacted the result?
I mean, sure, but I look at 17 games throughout the regular season where Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball, and that's the reason your number 1 wide receiver is better. Like, there's not a GM in the world who would take Jalen Hurts over AJ Brown.
is it a matter of when we, because I don't think they're going to replace him in the offseason.
I agree.
So
Totally.
a new OC, do you think they would design the game plan more around the running back? I mean, obviously it's been designed.
I mean, it has been
running
yeah,
back
it's
a
been so
lot
run
in
heavy.
the last 2 years because they got a great one. But you can still have an effective offense. The deep ball is important.
Yeah.
But you can nurse it through a regular season, right?
I it's been so built around the running game, and they've had a tremendous running game with Saquon and what Jalen can do running the ball. But I also think it's because they're limited passing the ball. I want to get to the rest of my tiers, though. I got 3
Okay,
left.
sorry.
Number 5, leaning no, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. And I put leaning no. I'm pretty strong no. This is more, I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on these ones. And in that tier, I have Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, and Baker Mayfield.
I have the same problem with Bo Nix that I have with Jalen Hurts right now, which is that I don't trust the arm. Baker is really interesting because he's played so bad. He played so bad over the last 2 months of the season.
That injury, though, that killed his season, right?
Probably. But I think I'd still take Baker Mayfield over Jalen Hurts. Sam Darnold, I still have trust issues with.
I agree.
He had that awesome Thursday night football shootout with the Rams where he actually came up big.
67% completion percentage.
Who, Jalen Hurts?
No, Darnold.
Oh. But just he's got the stink to him because last year he absolutely collapsed when the time was big.
All right, my next tier, 6th tier. I have 2 young. I don't think you guys are going to push back on this at all. Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck, and Jackson Dart.
Tyler Shuck's elite. I'd take him over everybody. No, you're right.
Yeah, you can't make the judgment yet.
Yeah, didn't think there was going to be too much debate on that one. And then in my final tier, where I just quite simply said, no, I'm not taking you over Jalen Hurts. I'm interested to see where you guys come out on this. I feel pretty strong about it. Maybe there's one name you guys throw out, but I'll leave it to you guys. Daniel Jones, no. Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett, no. Aaron Rodgers, no. CJ Stroud, Geno Smith, Bryce Young, Tua, Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy, Shedeur Sanders, and Justin Fields, all no's.
It's such a weird sport, right? Like some of those names were, if we'd done this 3 years ago, they would have been in a much higher tier. But it's attrition and health, and you have to have team success.
Yeah, if you gave me Kirk Cousins' name 2 years ago, I would have said, dude, I think I'd take him over limited mobility. But again,
I think that's the problem with the
the
NFL is just like, it's so fleeting, man. It's like
it's quick.
Carson Wentz was like on the way to winning the Super Bowl, and then he gets hurt and his whole career is sideways. And Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl. It's nuts. It's a crazy. I know it's vital. It's the most important position in sports, but it's also like you almost want to put them in a bubble.
Like the Lions went. What'd they go? 8-9 this year, right? Or were they 9-8? I can't remember fully.
Who? Sorry, which team?
The Lions. It was 8-9, right? Yeah. Lions went 8-9 this year, and everyone's like, man, championship window's closed. They won 14 games or 15 games 2 years ago or last season. And it's just like, that's how quick things move in the NFL. It's ridiculous.
It is. And there's concussions. Somebody's mentioned Jordan Love on the text line. I feel like every time we would have this conversation, it's a snapshot, but tomorrow somebody could take out the slicer dicer and their career would be over.
For the record, I think you're a little lower on Jordan Love than I am, Josh. I would take Love over Hurts.
I just watched Jordan Love in the second half of games, and I go, I can't get there.
I don't know, man. I like Jordan Love. I think there's a lot there. There is just he's kind of in that same tier as Dak for me, where I look at them and I say, these are guys who might just be underrated for the entirety of their careers. They're really good, but they don't necessarily have the same flash as some other guys. Like, I mean, Caleb's going to get all the highlight plays for the rest of his career because of those on the run throws he can make. But I watch Caleb try and throw a slant and he misses by 3 feet. And it's like, what the hell is that?
I think, but when you watch Jordan Love, like the Packers have talent. Like, I don't think we're going to sit here and disagree. The Packers don't have talent. They have too many wide receivers. Essentially, they're the Carolina Hurricanes with all their cussing goalies, but instead it's wide receivers for the Packers. All these things. It's like they finished the season 0-4. They finished the regular season 0-4, and then they lose a playoff game. It's like you should be able to win a game as a quarterback. Like, you should have one time where you're just like, I can shoulder something here. And I've never seen that from him. At times you can see it from a Jalen Hurts at times, but I don't think I've ever seen anything from Jordan Love to tell me that, like, man, this guy.
But I think you can make the argument with Jordan Love where it's like
average.
Where it's with Love, where it's like Jordan Love, he doesn't have that true number one.
Also,
he doesn't have the difference maker for him.
We're talking lore here. A year from now, Love might do something spectacular, and there's a randomness to all of this.
Oh, for sure.
And these are really talented players, and they, concussions, shoulder injuries, all of those things occur. A year ago, Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl, and he sure as hell wouldn't have been 10 on this list.
I think he would have been. Like, this is the same conversation we were all having a year ago. Not all three of us or four of us here specifically, but like, this is a conversation that's been had about Jalen Hurts.
I think I had him out like 6 or 7.
I think we had him
week.
about 6 or 7 last year,
and I think we all agreed on that. But that's okay.
No, I wasn't here, so I get to disagree. I say you guys had him too high.
All right, on the way, Jason Krueger Show. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tastier. Head to meals.loca.ca, select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to heat, get them delivered to your door every Sunday for as low as under $10 per serving. Heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca. We start with Edmonton Oilers news as they have activated goaltender Tristan Jarry and defenseman Jake Wallman from LTIR. The team has also placed forward Adam Henrique on said LTIR and moved goaltender Connor Ingram from emergency recall status to regular recall. They will be in action tonight against the Preds, 6 p.m. puck drop. In the NBA, it gets going with the Miami Heat hosting the Phoenix Suns at 5:30. Heat favored by 1.5 for that one. At 6, we're going to see San Antonio and OKC and Portland and Golden State in the late game at 9. News around the sporting world is after a historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin has informed the team he is stepping down as head coach. Greg Roman has been fired from the Los Angeles Chargers as their offensive coordinator, and Kevin Patullo has been demoted as the offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired 8-time All-Star third baseman Nolan Arenado in a trade with the Cards. Cards also sent $31 million to the Diamondbacks as Arenado has 2 years left on a 9-year, $275 million deal, agreed to waive his no-trade clause to complete the deal. And the Mavs and star Anthony Davis, whoopsies, he is expected to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand and miss several months. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.